somewhere. She can't track it down.
One.
Hi everyone, Tiffany here, and welcome to my quilting life. So today's episode, as you can see in the description, is a block that we haven't done before called the Snail Trail. Now, I wasn't planning on going live, and I should warn you that you're going to hear children in the background, like always. And yeah, also, if you are new to my channel, don't forget to come right over here down there. There's a red button that says subscribe. Hit that, subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and share them also, so they can get out there if you want someone to know how to make something. I just realized I need to adjust my lighting real quick because it's making me look orange. So give me a second, guys, and I'll show you where we are.
Hi,
Triana's saying hi, everybody.
You got to come over here so they can see you.
Triana, come over here and say
Diane.
hi.
Hi, Vicky. They said hi, Scott.
Hi, everyone. I'm
Okay.
going to be following the youngins around.
All right, say hi.
Hi.
Say, how are you today?
Yes.
How are you today? Yes, those are my friends. Want to ask my friends how they're doing today?
Yes.
Okay, well then ask them.
Friends.
Okay, you can go now.
No.
Yeah, because Tiffy's got to explain some stuff. So we're working.
Hi,
I took in 3 quilt orders, and they just happen to be small, crib size and toddler size. Toddler size is a little bit bigger than the crib, which is more like a drag around kind of quilt size. So I'm doing 3 real quick quilts for this. Starting with this one, because this one's the hardest and takes most of the time away. The other 2 are a little bit easier and won't take up too much of my time. This one is. So we are doing the Snail Trail Block. And if you don't know what that is,
Good now.
here's one
No.
with 3 of the same color and one of a totally different color. Here's another one with 2 different colors. The rest are going to be 2 different colors, but I have mine going a specific way so that when they're together, like so, they will create one complete swirl. So that's how I'm doing mine. So when I add my next one,
This.
I'm going to put it on me. But we're going to put these blocks on me so that you can see. So when I add my next one, it creates another swirl. And I will post the regular pictures soon. Hi, Michelle. And again, another one. So this is the Snail Trail. It's a very old block. These are miniature blocks. So these only come out to 6.5 inches, and they'll finish at 6 inches. And mine obviously go in a specific color order, but I could show you how to make it while I'm at it. So, hi, Tracy. So yeah, I will show you how to make it, and I'm going to tell all of you the measurements. So pay attention, and pay attention well, because this one is all written down on paper like I always do, and I'm sorry that I just write it down on paper. So here's on paper. If I tilt it just right, you can see all my jibble jabble on here, just as well as my layout. Oh, you can't even see that. There you go. There's my layout. And I have little itty bitty numbers because I numbered my fabric instead of alphabeting it. So, hi, Sandy. So, to make this 6.5 inch block that will finish at 6 inches for a snail trail, you're going to need, for a normal person, I'm going to give you normal block where it's 2 colors. So, it would have been a dark color here and a dark color here, and 2 light colors. That would have been the regular style snail trail. Those are the measurements I'm giving you for. So a light and a light, or dark and a dark, and a light and a light is how it would normally be. Now I'm going to try to pretend the whole way that that's what I'm doing, but technically I'm not. So in the dark color section, for the dark color, again, the dark color, which you'll have 2 of, for the dark colors, you'll need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cuts. A through E, those are the alphabetized cuts. So A, B, C, D, and E cuts are, A cut would be 4.5 inch square, cut twice diagonally. So here's your square, cutting from corner to corner and corner to corner. Obviously, I pre-cut everything because I was kind of on a roll today. So I'm sorry. Is that you though, Michelle? Because you're in bad weather as well as me, and mine's not saying buffering. Stay on my kisses. Pray you all be okay, Sandy. We'll see ya. Stay on. Okay, I don't know what you're saying there, but good luck with whatever it is you're doing. All right, so A, 4 1/4, 4 1/4 of a square you're cutting. And then you're going to cut that square on the diagonal like this 2 times, making an X. And make sure that the one thing to make sure is that when you're cutting your squares, we're going to pretend this is a square, that you're hitting that point and that point every time. So stacking up 8 pieces, you're going to have some shifting. I would suggest cutting 4 or less pieces at a time. You're going to cut from point to point, point to point on a 4 1/4 inch square, or 4 1/4. B, 3 7/8. Now we've done this before in a video. 7/8 is, so here's 3 inches right here. 7/8 is the 1 notch right before the 4. So here's the 4. That little itty bitty notch right before that 4. I'll line it up so you can see how it's not hitting the 4. That is 3 7/8. You need to cut 2 3 7/8 squares. And I forgot for A, you need only 1. So for B, 2 3 7/8 squares. Cut on the diagonal 1 time. That means 1 time from corner to corner. Only once, 1 cut, 3 7/8. C is C's fabric in the dark section still. 2 3/4. Everybody knows where 3/4 is. It's the one right before the 3/8. Or 7/8. Sorry. 2 3/4. You only need 1, and that square also is cut diagonally, both like this. You're cutting it diagonally, and you need just 1, 2 3/4, or 2 3/4. Color D, or piece D in the dark section, 2 3/8. Now that one's another odd one. So 3/8 is the notch right before 3 1/2. So say this is 3 1/2 right here. That notch right before 3 1/2, right between 1/2 and 1/4, that one little bitty notch, that is 2 3/8. We want 2 3/8, and you need 2 3/8 squares. Cut on the diagonal 1 time. So just 1 time from corner to corner. E, cut E, is 1 1/4, or 1 1/4. Hi, Linda. And E is just a 1 1/4 inch square. So I'm telling you, it's a very, very tiny little square. 1 1/4. You guys, most people throw away 1 1/4 worth of fabric. I don't, and I will use pieces that small. So E is 1 1/4.
Linda Cooper's on. She says she's glad she finally caught you live.
Thank you. Yeah, I already said hi. I just didn't read exactly what it said. So again, A.
Michelle says you're buffering bad.
No, it's probably her weather,
Oh.
because we're not. So dark color. The numbers again. For A, 4 1/4, 4 1/4. You only need 1 piece, cut on the diagonal twice. B, 3 7/8. You need 2 pieces, cut on the diagonal once. C, 2 3/4, or 2 3/4. You only need 1 piece, cut on the diagonal twice. D, 2 3/8, cut on the diagonal once, and you need 2 of those. And E, 1 1/4. You need 4 squares. So you're cutting 1 1/4, 1 1/4, leaving it whole, no cutting, and you need 4 of those. For the light color, for your light one, It's the same exact thing. I'm not going to repeat it. So I'm going to let you know for dark and for light, it's the same exact numbers, same exact cuts, and they are F, G, H, I, and J. Same exact thing, just numbered differently. I am going by alphabet for pieces and numbers for color of fabric. That's what I'm doing. So let's get to building one or two or three. So now that I told you all those measurements, and I will take and put all the measurements in the group later with a picture of the blocks and what I've got done so far, since everybody's already seen a picture of all my pre-cuts, and I asked you guys what can you guess what I'm doing? Well, I'm doing Snail Trail. So if you didn't notice, next to me I have myself a little board that I actually just pinned it. I don't have a stapler. I thought I did, but I don't. I just put some batting and some felt on here on a piece of cardboard so that I could transfer my pieces so the fan don't blow them everywhere. So I'm going to take myself over to what I call my little fabric hoarding spot over there. So what is it called? My ironing board, the big huge one that I made, has a bunch of pieces of paper. And if you're in the group and you've seen it, all my cuts are already over there and they're in order of their numbers on a white piece of paper with all 5 different cuts on that paper. I'm going to go grab what I need to make a block, and I will be right back here, and you can just stare at this until then. Yes, it's bad winds here too, Michelle. 11, 1, and 7. So I am grabbing my numbers right now. I have to grab one of each piece because I have a big, huge pile going on over here. And I'll show you what I'm doing in a second when I come over to the screen, how I'm doing this so that I don't get messed up. And yeah, it helps me, and I'm pretty sure it will help you. And there's tons of different people out there that tell you what to do when making this block, but I just so happen to have my own way. What were my numbers again? 1 and 7. So color number 1. Right here, and one of each of its pieces. I'm trying to pick up all these little triangles because I have a big, huge pile of all these little triangles. They gradually get bigger, so I'll come to the screen in a second. And number 7. When I come to the screen, I'll show you what I mean by they gradually get bigger. That way you know you have the right color or the right piece for the right area. And all my colors are purples, blues, and aquas, the whole entire thing. And they will blend really, really nicely. Gray is my blendy color. So here's my tray of colors. So here's my 1 1/4 piece, or 1 1/4. And then I think this is my 3 7/8 was, no. That was 4 pieces. So this is my 3 7/8 cut in half. This one right here is my 2 3/4 cut in 4s. This one here is my 2 3/8 cut in half. And this one is my 4 1/4. No, this one is my 3 7/8 in half. This is my 4 1/4. Yeah, see, I can even mess up telling you. But I just put them all here, and this is how I'm going to do this. So I'm going to lay my little mat next to me. Actually, I want it this way. I know you guys can see right here. It's just not very bright. I'm going to move that out of the way. And I have to keep my chart near me. So if you make a chart, hi, Teresa. My chart, obviously, you guys can't see. You can just see my scribbling, kind of. I'm going to keep my chart next to me so that I remember what order. So my color 11, which is my gray, and my color 1, which is a dark purple, is right here at the top. So here's my color number 11. This is my color number 1. Then again, color 11 and color number 7, which is a lighter purple. So I'm just going to show you. So first I'm going to start with my little dinky 4 patch. And my pieces are just like this. right here in front of me. And I'm going to put them right sides together. There's no right or wrong with my solids, but just make sure when you're not using solids. And we're going to sew a little 4-patch out of these 1 1/4 inch pieces. And due to the kids running around, I don't know how many blocks I'll be able to make just while I'm live. So just so you know, if I don't go forever, then it's because I have the kids trying to do this. So this whole thing, if you want to make it, you can have yourself a little pressing area next to you. I 100% with these little pieces do not want to burn my fingers, so I am finger pressing everything. So I finger press it. I'm going to put them right sides together because I chain pieced the little 4-patch through this machine. I'm going to nest my little seams right here. I'm going to run this through. And now I'm going to open it and just press it to one side or the other, or you can open that last seam. I just press to one side. It don't make no difference. So now I'm going to keep my little 4-patch here exactly the way I have it written down on my list. So it's 11, 1, 11, 7. That's my numbers. So I'm doing gray, purple, gray, purple. So I'm going to keep it like this. The number we're looking for adding the next piece to is always this top left corner. For me, that looks like the right. This is actually my left. So my left hand is touching that top one. So I'm going to go ahead and grab off this little pile right here, this first piece. That is the gray, because that's the color that's right here at the top. Now, if you guys are doing 2 colors, you would have gray here, purple here instead. I just so happen to not, because I'm putting gray around the whole outside of my project. So it's a lot of paying attention for mine. Hi, Marcia. Okay, so where am I at? Okay, so I'm going to put this gray right here at the top. And then I'm going to take this purple one, put it right here because now this is for the right. Then I'm going to take this next purple and put it down here at the bottom. I'm going to take this gray because that's the color that's on the outside. So my color order now, obviously that stays down, looks like that. So I'm going to attach this one and this one, this one and this one. And I'll show you a little secret to where you can always line them up. So I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to put it right sides together. And no matter what you do, you're always going to have a 1/4 inch, as you can see those hanging off each side. But the best way is to take that point and line that point up with the seam line right here. That's how you know you're always center. So I'm going to line this up nicely. I'm going to keep it nice and center. You can put a pin in it if you want to. I'm just going to hold it because they are such small little pieces that I can hold it. And I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam. That's it, 1/4 inch seam. You can't mess this up. You have a 1/4 inch seam. You got to make sure that that is correct every time. I'm going to fold it back, and I'm going to finger press it, and now it looks like this. I'm going to lay it here in front of me and grab this bottom piece from my little plate right here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to line this up to where that point touches that seam line right there. No, Vicki, right now, if you tried something like this, I would suggest the 2 colorway. I don't think you can mess it up. And there are bigger snail trail blocks out there, but because I'm doing a baby project, I'm doing baby blocks. So there's so many tutorials on it. This is just me showing you guys how I do it and what it is I'm doing. Hey, Jess. So now I'm going to finger press that out. And now I have one on each side. And now I'm going to take my little snips. Make sure that's another thing you need next to you is a little pair of sharp snips, because these little dog ears, we're going to just trim these off in our hand. Flip the piece around, trim it off in hand. So now my little piece is this way. I'm going to turn it in front of me because now I'm adding this purple one to the top, because this purple is touching my left-hand corner up here. That's how I know it's the right piece and I'm not messing it up. I'm going to lay it on there. Again, that point is matching that line, that seam line, so there's no way to mess it up. You know, you don't have to fold the little piece in half. You just line those seam lines up. put it through with a 1/4 inch seam. I'm going to finger press it back. Like I said, you don't need an iron unless you absolutely want to, but I'm going to tell you right now, you burn your fingers. This block is so small, you just burn them every time. And now, all I have left is this gray. So again, I'm just going to lay it here. I'm going to line the tip up. On this gray, you can see that it's touching, the tip is touching the seam line. You can see that on the purple. Michelle, if you don't remember, that's Justin, CJ's dad. For all of you guys who don't know, that's Justin. My bestest friend. All right. My bestest guy friend. I have a lot of good best friend girlfriends, but I only have one guy friend besides my husband. I don't think that counts. All right, so I snipped all the dog ears away. So now I'm going to lay it back in the same exact position where I'm adding the colors. So my gray should be right here. My purple should be the next one. So I'm going to lay it just like that, hold in my fingers, and make a slight turn. So now I'm taking the next size gray, and this one you could fold in half if you want, or you can line it up by putting that point facing the other point. So it makes sense once you do it. So I'm going to line it right sides together. I'm going to make sure that if I run my finger from this point, it's going to go straight to that point. I have also to note, there's a 1/4 inch sticking out on each side. It's visibly there, so you know that you're centered. But you can fold the piece in half and align it, but I don't find that. So now that I have that one on, I'm going to go to the bottom, and it's going to be the dark purple, because that's the side it's going to touch. So if that dark purple is right here, it's going to be dark purple. So that's my next one. Hi, Kale. Is it Miller or Mueller? I can't see from it. Mueller. Hello. I'll just say KL. It takes me a while to remember names, though. But if you tell me your name, I'll do my best. Kelly. Okay. Hello. Hi, Kelly. I shouldn't forget that because that's my aunt's name. All right. So now I'm going to put this under. I'm going to sew this one on. Again, I'm just going to flip it back and use my finger to press it back, my fingernail, because that's probably the best way. If you have one of those little presser thingies, then that would work too. I do not have one of those. So now we have dog ears sticking out on all 4 sides. Instead of getting up and trimming it with a rotary cutter, again, little snips. Just sit here, snip them off. And now, since this gray is in my top corner, I'm going to grab the next size gray that's the only one left sitting over here. I'm going to line it up, and I'm going to aim that point for the point right here in that little seam, in that crest. 1/4 inch on each side, and so 1/4 inch down the block. Fold it back. Use my finger. Now it looks like this. I have one more side to add, which is the last of the small pieces on this side, and you know it's the right one because it's touching that color that's up in the top left. This whole entire block is built based upon the color to the left building it. So I'm going to slide this under. So a 1/4 inch all the way down. Use my fingers, finger press it back. And as I've done with all of them, so those little dog ears, I'm just going to trim all those off with the scissors. So now I'm going to do the same thing I've been doing. So my block now needs to be laid in front of me the way it would be on my chart. So my 2 gray little squares are on the outside right here. So we're going to start with the next color gray up here at the top, because that's what's on the left is a gray. Now this one is going to be back with that seam line. The seam that's in the center of the block from the little tiny 4, you can't draw on that, sweetie. The tiny little 4 patch, that's where this is going to line up. And again, when I say you can fold and match, you can fold the block exactly in half, put a little crease right here, and then that crease, you can see that crease that I just made, is now going to sit in the center. But to me, I don't like lining it up that way. I like putting the point on that seam line. To me, that's a little bit more accurate. So I'm going to slide this on. Sew this on 1/4 inch. Use my finger to push it back. Hey, no. That's a big no. And now I'm going to put the bottom one on, which is going to be, if I was to turn it to the left up here, the top left is this dark purple. Yeah, put it back, please. Again, I'm going to line this next piece up. And I'm going to put it right here where it's supposed to go. Put it under this and sew my 1/4 inch seam. Being mindful of points this whole entire time, but these blocks literally line up every time. See my points? They are always there. So now that I got those two on, we're going to snip this away. Snip just the little dog ears only away. I'm going to put it to where the piece is now. It doesn't matter as long as the top left is there. I'm going to grab the last gray. Just here. That point again, point from here is touching that seam line in the center of that little 4 patch. So that's how I know it's equal on both sides. Better Sandy. And bad blood. Told her no more beer and no more fast food. Am I missing something? I can't scroll. I don't have my mouse because of the girls. Let me go grab it so I can scroll. Tree. All right, let's see what's been said. All right. Hi. That's all the highs. Let's see. Did I miss anybody?
Hi.
Teresa.
Hi.
Marcia said hi. Diane. I said Peggy, Michelle. Oh, Sandy had bad blood work. Okay, so you told her to, okay. So get better, Sandy. Sandy, don't drink. Haven't seen her drink beer. Oh, it was only one. Hers, Pepsi. Or doctor, don't eat Pepsi. Okay, guys. All right, move. Come on. Watch out. He's got to put more pieces on. So we can have one complete block. All right, so now I'm adding this one. I'm going to match that point up. Obviously, you can't see exactly, but I'm centering that tip of that point with the tip of at the 4 patch on that seam line. And I'm sewing 1/4 inch down. And like I said, every time I sew this, I'm not losing my points. So, and if I do, it's like minute amounts. So now again, there's some dog ears. You can see them against my black shirt. I'm going to go ahead and snip those off. And we're going to add the last go around. So I'm going to again put this to where my 2 little squares here are in the position that they were supposed to be in according to my chart. And then I'm going to turn it 1 spin. So that way I have a flat edge. So the top color is now gray. For you, it would be a dark or a light. So normally it would be a light. I'm going to grab a gray. I'm going to stick it right here. And this one's going to be the lining up with the tip right here. So see this little point right here? I'm going to line that tip up with that tip. Pretty much just lining up the tips.
Yeah.
And I have a kid obviously on my lap, so it's making it hard. So my 1/4 inch seam, flip it out and finger press it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And now I'm going to grab the purple, the dark purple, and we're going to put that on the bottom. Again,
Yeah.
lining the tip up with the tip.
Yeah. Chippy. Yeah. Yeah. Chippy.
The only other option of explaining this is taking a picture every time I do the next step so that you guys can see, and then I can post it in the group. If you would like me to do that, I can do that as well. All right, so now again, we got some dog ears. I'm going to trim all those off. Try not to trim into your fabric accidentally. It's kind of hard because I got a little child right here, so it feels like I'm trimming into it, but I'm really not. So now I have gray at the top. I'm going to take this gray, I'm going to line it up again, matching my little point of this triangle with the tip of this. I got a 1/4 inch on each side, so that's how I know I'm straight. Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, you stop.
Yeah.
And we're going to fold this back and finger press it without stretching. Everything's on the bias, but once you steam press this, it'll be nice. And now I'm going to add the last and final piece right here. Again, just going to lay it right sides together, and I'm aiming for that tip right here with it, or you can fold it in half. I just aim for the tip. It lines up pretty much every time. No fighting with it or anything. And I'm going to finger press this back. I'm going to trim all these off.
Yeah.
Off. Yes, I'm trimming all these little pieces off. Yeah, trimming the pieces off. I'm making a big mess of them in front of me. Now I'm going to go ahead and leave that right there for you to see while I turn the iron on, because the girls were in, the baby was in here, and I didn't want her messing with the iron. So I'm going to press this real quick. And then I'll lay 3 of the blocks out right here on my little homemade pad of cardboard so that you can see. But give me a second and I'll press this, and then we can make one more, I guess. Dang it, I have to go. Every time you sit down, someone wants something. That's fine. You can go. It's no big deal, Kelly. Me, obviously, I'm up and down constantly too. All right, I'm going to press this real quick. She brings her little quilt in here. It's a little panel quilt for me to press every time this iron is on. And she says, blanket. She wants it hot. Don't know why. All right, so now I have a nicely pressed block with lots of steam. Lays nice and flat. It's not even stretching or anything. And there's my block. So you can tell there's 2 different colors here. One's a lighter purple, one's a dark. No touch. Now I'm going to lay the first couple blocks from row 1. I'm going to lay 3 of them because we'll make the next one so you guys can see what all 4 are going to look like. And then this one right here. So this is so far. You see what's happening here? Yes. So now I'm going to make the next color segment, which is going to be this color, and then 2 different colors. So let me go grab those colors. I'm going to lay these out of the way for now because that's from row 1. And this is row 2 now that I'm building on, and we'll lay them back out. But I'm going to go grab those colors and I'll be right back. So I need 1, 7, 2, and 8. One. What order are they in? I should just have my chart over there. It would probably be easier. So 1, 7, 2, 8. 1, 7, 2, and 8. So I'm introducing another blue now. So now I'm going to start grabbing all the little pieces for it, 1 of each.
Purple.
Yeah, purple.
Green.
Green.
Yes, green.
Say aqua.
Aqua.
Yeah, aqua.
Green goose.
And it's learning for her too because she's trying to learn her colors.
Triangle.
Yeah, triangles. Yes, Tiffy is definitely working with triangles today. No touch. Don't touch my triangles though, please. I don't want you to mess them up.
Ollie.
Yeah, don't mess my triangles.
Ollie's.
Yeah, no touch.
Ollie.
All right, so I'm going to come over there and show you guys what I got going on my board. And this is why I did this, because they stick to the board. So yeah, I got this funky looking thing right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, according to my chart, which is being drug around with me all over the place today. No, that's going to hurt you. I don't need pins. No touch.
Hi.
I know, you're getting on my nerves today.
Ollie.
Yep. So I'm going to take piece 1 and piece 2, because they're in the top from the last ones, and 7 and 8 go on the bottom. So this is color 1, and this is color 2. I'm going to sew these together, because I'm going to create the 4 patch so that I know my direction. And now piece 7 and piece 8, the color number, I should say, color 7 and color 8. And I'm going to press it to the dark, because that's pretty much, doesn't really matter. If you're doing it the other way, though, obviously, if you're doing just 2 colors, always press to the dark one. But that's just on the 4 patch, because the whole entire thing actually just presses out anyway. So now I'm going to sew these together. And now we have just created a tiny little itty bitty 4 patch. So here's my tiny little itty bitty 4 patch. Okay. So now I'm going to put it in the color order with the color piece that's supposed to be in the top, which is color number 1, the dark purple. So that's my top left. And I'm going to start with that one. So I'm going to grab that color purple, and I'm going to put it down on here, right sides together again. You see that point? It lines up with that. I'm going to line it up and make sure it stays where it's supposed to stay the whole time. And so they're such small pieces. They're, I don't know, they seem kind of hard to hold, but they're not hard to hold, if that makes any sense at all. So I'm going to finger press that back. And now this bottom one is going to be the blue, because that blue is what's touching the top. So if that was in the top left, if I turn the piece around, that blue is what's touching it. So I know that's the next piece. That's how I always remember it. So it touches that corner. If I turn the piece, whatever ends up in my left is the next piece I'm sewing on. So I'm going to finger press that back. I'm going to take and trim off my little dog ears. Yeah, that's your princess dress. Now I'm going to turn the piece and add my light aqua color. Quarter inch seam. Remember, on these ones, I'm just, see now that it's sewed on, you can see the tip touches the seam line. Yeah. No, you don't need to do that. No, you don't need to put your dress on. Put it on top. Now the last piece would be the light purple, because that's the only one left with this size piece, this size triangle. So again, you can see that point, lining it up with that seam line. I got a quarter inch sticking out on both sides. Hold it down nicely. Now you can see why I'm not pressing. Not only am I not burning my fingers, but it's just, it would add so much extra work, you know. I just finger press it, cut away the dog ears all the way around, trying not to cut any of the fabric, just the dog ears. Now I have this. So again, I'm going to lay the block in the position it's supposed to be. So color number 1 is the dark purple. I want that at the top corner as according to my chart. So yours would be dark, dark, light, light. As long as you're doing it the same every time, it should be the same. Digging up your lily bulbs. Sucks that you're in pain. All right. Dark purple is my first piece. This one, if I get it on there, sometimes you have to manipulate the fabric with your finger. I'm going to align the point from this with this seam right there at that point. I got a 1/4 inch on each side. And I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch down. Finger press it back. The bottom one is going to be the blue.
Chippy.
So I'm going to attach that.
Look.
And I can tell you right now, I'm doing 7 across by 8 down for this little project here. And what was I going to say? 7 across by 8 down. And I'm doing it by the row. I'm doing 1 row at a time, and I'm checking off my thing fell. I am checking off my piece as I do it. I left a square open in the center. I just numbered the outer 4 corners because that obviously, that's where I want them to land. So it starts out that way and lands that way every time. But I'm putting a check mark so I know that I did that block and then I move to the next one. It takes me almost 2 hours, 1 hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours to complete 1 full block or 1 full row. So it goes pretty quick once you get the hang of it. So now light purple, align this just right so that you can see it. I'm going to hold it up. I'm holding it. I want it to match this point because you can see through this color, I'm matching that point with that point. Just holding it right there so I know that center. I have a 1/4 inch on each side. I'm also using my thread cutter on my machine because I don't want to waste too much thread. So I'm just cutting it and going. Last one to add is this light color. Again, just lining it up. Piece, that tip right there with that next tip down here. And I have a 1/4 inch sticking out on each side. And then I just sew it on. Okay, so that she stops complaining, we're going to put her pretty dress that I made her on so that she can show it off. Hold on. One arm there. One arm there. And I didn't really make the whole dress. I only made the straps because she wanted a princess dress. Okay, you have to come up here on Tippy for me to show. So ready? She has her shirt on underneath. There's her pretty dress. Tippy took a dress and just added straps to it.
Dress.
Okay, you showed everyone your dress. Now you can go. All right, Tippy's got a lot of work to do. Yeah.
Sissy.
Yeah, go show Sissy and Scott. Although they've seen your dress a bazillion times. All right, so now I'm going to get back to where I was. Let's see. My dark purple is color number 1. So I want that in my upper left corner. So I'm going to grab my dark purple. I'm going to lay it on here. And now this time around, again, that piece, that tip right here, is going to land on that seam line, on that 4 patch. So it's kind of just rotates itself around. Over and over and over. Okay. So on the bottom is going to be the dark blue. And obviously you know what piece goes where because that's all that's left on your little board or however you're doing it with your project on a table in front of you. It's always best to have that. And I always know it's the correct color because my list is over there and I could see the color order. I have it in color order 1 through 10. So how did you get her hair so straight today? Her hair's not straight. It's just kind of fluffy from not being brushed properly. She's been playing for a while. So that is why it may look straight, but it's really not. It's usually super curly. All right, so I'm trimming the dog ears off. All right, so now I'm on the lighter purple because that's what's in my top left when I hold the piece in front of me. She probably didn't even hear something. Hey, they said pretty dress, Triana. She calls it pretty dress. She runs around saying pretty dress, or she'll say princess dress.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, princess dress.
Yes.
Yeah, dance. Dance with your dress on. All right, folding this out. And again, every single round, there's going to be dog ears to trim off. Just make sure that you're not cutting the fabric. And all of the seams, if you haven't noticed on the back side, all of the seams just keep going outward and outward and outward. So again, I'm going to come back now that I'm on the next round and put my darkest color in the top, because that was the number here on the board is color number 1.
Jiffy dress.
I'm going to grab that purple.
Jiffy dress.
I'm going to line it up,
Jiffy dress.
lay it right here, 1/4 of an inch seam.
Jiffy dress.
Yeah, Tiffy made you a pretty dress.
Jiffy dress.
All right.
Oh, me.
Now that bottom one is going to be the dark blue, because if you were to turn it upside down, that top left is that color. So no matter what you do, every time you turn the block, as long as that next piece is, if you turned it, is the color of the top left corner. Every time it should line up and be the same piece. Even if you're doing like me and using 10 or 11, I actually have 11 different colors. 10 of them are purples. The 11th color is gray, which is my outer color, which is also going to be strategically placed throughout the quilt. And you guys will see that in the finished quilt. So, all right. So there's only 2 pieces left. It's obvious what sides they go on. Again, I'm lining that tip up with this tip right here of the next piece up. I have a 1/4 inch sticking out on each side. The cuts, the measurements that I gave you, give perfect cuts. Again, I'll put the measurements in the group. So you're starting to make clothes now too. No, that was just me screwing around. I do not make clothes. I make sucky clothes. It took me 3 tries to get those straps right, and they're still not correct. I do not do clothes. I don't know why I can't grasp the concept of it, I guess. I just made straps, and that was it. All right, last and final piece. I'm going to go press this after I chop off these little dog ears, because that was the last time around the block. And I'm going to lay 4 pieces, which is the first 4 colors, on my little board and show you. So I'll be right back.
Is this in the way?
No.
Okay.
Jiffy hot. Jiffy hot.
Here you go, blanket hot. There you go.
So hot.
Okay, wrap up in it.
Honey, be careful where you're going here. There's glue. If you get that on that, then you'll have the glue in it.
All right.
Putting it on your stuff.
So there is a 4 colored snail trail block.
Oh, that's awesome.
So now let me lay these first 4 pieces from the first 2 rows out on here so that I can show you what they will look like. Pretty much through the whole thing, except the colors are going to be scattered. So just imagine the seam allowance gone and the pieces scattered.
So, Justin wants to know if you're starting to make clothes now, too.
No, I already read that.
Oh, okay.
Turn it around so that you guys can see. So the outside of the whole entire quilt is going to be gray. And then there'll be a couple gray pieces, like I said, strategically placed through the quilt. So if I scoot this over, obviously row 2 won't have the piece, but I'll just add row 1's next piece so that you can see how it lines up. So that's how it will go. So it's going to keep creating a full piece. You get where I'm going here? And all the colors are going to be random throughout the whole entire thing. So this is the snail trail block, everyone. This is what I'm creating. One block is the snail trail, the whole quilt. I don't know, is it snails trails? Because it looks like waves to me. So this is what I'm doing. Like I said, it takes me an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours to complete one full row. And that's a lot of getting up because every block I have to go get up, put all the colors on my board, bring them back. And it's really nice to be able to do that. So if you have cardboard with some batting or some spare fabric, just throw it together. I pinned this on the board itself was mail box. So I just put it on here. Bye, Justin. And yeah, so I made myself a chart. Like I said, you guys can't see it, but in my chart, the number 11 is on the blocks all the way around it. So then it has number 5 is here, number 4 is here. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Linda, this is exactly what I'm doing. And like I said, all the colors are going to be throughout the whole entire thing mixed around. The chart 100% helps. I will do my best to take a picture of it. It's kind of hard to take a picture of pencil drawing, and it's in pencil because that's how I'm keeping track with my little check marks. So yeah, I'm doing it in pencil. I will put the directions also on the Facebook group. So remember, if you're new and you're subscribed to my channel, the Facebook group is in the description below. For the rest of you guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me on this Tackle It Tuesday. Definitely a great episode to show you guys how to make a new block, which is the snail trail. Obviously, I'm doing a bazillion different colors, so it's a little confusing if you're new to it, but once you get the hang of it, it just goes so quick. So I'm hoping that I will see you guys all in the group and sharing more pictures and stuff, and even videos if you want to share of all the little projects that you're doing. I will post all the other stuff in the group. Instead of putting it in the description below, it'll all be in the group. So, all right, guys. Yes, I'll try to do the picture of every step. I'll have someone use the camera and take a picture after each piece. That way you'll have all but a zillion pieces in one over and over and over. So, yeah, that's it. All right, bye, everyone. Thank you for watching. And if you're new to my channel, right down there, subscribe, and the bell will come up. Get a notification when I'm on. Also, give it a thumbs up so it helps other people see my videos. And till then, see you guys next time I'm on. Bye.